Welcome. Today we're going to be discussing analyzing systems of equations. Now that sounds like a mouthful, but it really isn't. It's talking about equations. Instead of one equation, we will have two equations. So here we're going to be discussing a real-world situation. So take a minute to read the word problem and see what it is they're asking us, what we need to know. We have a table that's going to represent our towns, and then we have our locations of those towns. So what do we know? We know Brent and Maria's roots. And what do we need to know? If Brent's and Maria's roots pass through a common location, what is that asking? That's asking, do the two lines intersect? So using our coordinates indicated on the table, let's plot those points and label our graph. Take a minute, pause here if you need to. You don't need to use a red and a blue line if you don't have colored pencils, but just label all of your points. We are going to find the slope, and you saw me erase the formula for the slope, and I wanted to rewrite it y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. We have all of our coordinate pairs. We can use those points to find those slopes. So take a minute to do that. Here we have all of our points labeled. And the slope of Brent's root wound up being -1, and the slope of Maria's root was 1. They did indeed intersect at the point over 1 up 5. If we read down the page, we see that the lines do intersect at 1, 5. When you come in on Monday, we are going to be discussing this page, collaborating together to complete it, answering these questions, and discussing with one another how we can determine if the lines will intersect. One of the questions I want you to consider, and I will ask you this as you come in, perhaps as a ticket to enter the classroom, how do you know, looking at the lines or the slopes of the lines, how do you know if they will or will not intersect? So I'm going to leave you with that question. How do you know, by looking at the slopes of the lines, if they will intersect? See you Monday.